Late evening of Saturday, February 7 is today, 2026. Just look at this news 1 hour ago from Vanguard News, but I have not been able to confirm this news or, hear from Southern Kaduna. But this is what Vanguard News is reporting at this moment, that terrorists, when you hear bandits, they are terrorists, nothing like bandits here. So that the terrorists abduct Catholic priest, the Reverend Father, 10 other people, kill 3 in fresh Kaduna attack. Tomorrow is Sunday, okay? They have started today. All right. It seems that these people are following the commandment. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. So Saturday, Sunday, they go there to do opposite, to violate the law. This is not a laughing matter, okay? All right. Again, terrorists in Kaduna State have abducted a Catholic priest and 10 other residents while killing 3 persons during an attack on Karku community in Kauru Local Government Area. That Kauru again. All right. The picture you are seeing is the picture of the Reverend Father, a very, vibrant, young, and handsome Reverend Father. May he so rest in peace. Now, what I have to say about this is that the church body have to do better. Okay? The church as a body have to do better. This is not emotion. I don't want people to be getting emotion with reality. I hate it when people are emotional with the reality. You have to face the reality. Don't be emotional with the reality. The PFN, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Christian Association of Nigeria, then churches, individual churches like Omega Fire Ministry, Winners Chapel, Redeemed Christian Church of God, the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, the Baptist Church, Choir Church, all of them. They have to do something about this. Now, what am I expecting from them? Number one is defend your people, defend the faith through the media, through physical contact of defense, through different means, through accountability. Now, when I listened in the interview that New Central Television, interviewed the head of the village that the attack happened in Kwara State, the man was confirming the very first report I reported when the incident happened, that Christians were massacred. He said they were locked inside the church. They burned them to ashes. They were unable to identify them, so they don't know how many number of Christians they burned inside the church. They tracked them to their homes. They locked them inside the house. They burned it. The attack happened for 10 hours. At the end, nothing was saved. So what am I trying to say here? I want Christians to be accountable. What is the essence of can? If you can't defend your people, if you can't speak when your people die, imagine the whole country is mute. Only thing they hear was Muslims were massacred, Boko Haram massacred Muslims. And that is what the international media copied. Nobody is telling them that their primary target, were Christians who were locked inside the church and burned them like that. No, we can't continue like this. We can't continue like this. And, I don't want people to be getting emotion through this thing. There are so many ways. There are so many ways everyone can contribute. It must not be the same way. It must not be what this one believes. That is why we are different. What I am interested in right now is the solution. How can people stop dying? There are a lot of, things you can do individually in your own capacity, in the capacity of the body that can, and so on and so forth. Now, I don't know your capacity, but what I'm trying to say is that the Christian body are not trying enough. I'm not trying to bring religious something here or religion here, but I'm just trying to say it. I'm just trying to say it. I know that these extremists have an ideology that many people in government like. Many people in government are buying the ideology. Many people in government are supporting them. There is no doubt about that. We are not, hiding to see it. That is the reality on ground. And they are colluding. They also talked about the helicopter that was the sound of helicopter up when this attack was going on. So sad. Who owns this helicopter that is always up when these terrorists are operating? The Catholic school they went in Niger State to kidnap people, the helicopter was up. Okay, they came to Enugu to attack, the helicopter was up. Before Kwara, they were dropping people, the helicopter was up. Edo State, Ekmoma people said the helicopter was up. Who owns this helicopter that terrorists are using in Nigeria? Nigeria Air Force, who owns this helicopter? We have been psycho-conditioned to believing that this is normal. This is normal. Let people just be going like that. A Reverend Father. You know what it takes to become a Reverend Father? You think going to school for 10 years. 10 years of your life, a decade, you are just in the school. You think it is easy? It's not easy. So for him to come out and what he sees is some rats will come and kidnap him. Because you have extremist ideology, you want them to become Muslims and obey Sharia, be radical like you. Is that all? It is well. No? It's so painful anyway.
When I'm talking about Islamization agenda, you think you know better than me. You think most of us have been shouting and talking and trying to sensitize Nigerians about the Islamization agenda of these Fulani jihadists. You think you know better. And some of you in the West, from the Yoruba land, are so foolish that you think the people from the North, the jihadists, because they call Allah Akbar, you think you are the same. No. So I'm tired of the folly of Nigerians. Our foolishness knows no bound. Your foolishness knows no bound. That when we should rise up and speak with one, with one voice, you think it's between Christian Muslim, and you play politics and you play ethnic cards with it. You all are foolish. I'm telling you. You think you know better. Between today is Thursday, between Monday and today, over 300 people have been annihilated, have been unalived in Nigeria, and nobody has done anything reasonable about it. You think you know better. When I tell you of Islamization agenda, you think you know better than me, isn't it? You all are foolish. Fulanis went to Woro village in Kwara State, which most of the people actually are Muslims. But because they have been preaching, they were preaching to them to accept Sharia as a governing law against the Nigerian constitution. Sharia as a governing law against the Nigerian constitution. And the people rejected. And the people said no, they would rather stick to the Nigerian constitution and be governed by the Nigerian constitution instead of Sharia. And even though most of these people are even Muslims, they executed. They did not just unalive them. They tied their hands behind their back in Woro village. Tied their hands behind their backs. What you do to criminals? They tied their hands behind their backs and executed them. Over 200 of them. Oh, of course, the media say 170. In media tell you 170. I've always told you, divide that number by 2, they add on top of it. So there are over 200 and something people that were executed because they refused Sharia law. And I told you the other time in my video when I was explaining the pattern of Islamization. When I was explaining the sequence, the stages of Islamization. Number 1 is that they're moving. They're either moving by migration or they're moving by invasion. Number 2, they occupy government positions. And when they begin to occupy government positions, they begin to vow for, different stuff like that. Number 3, they begin to multiply. And when they multiply to a certain number, then number 4, they implement Sharia. And the moment you accept Sharia, then jihad will happen. And Nigeria presently, 12 states are practicing Sharia. 12 states. And if you think those people carrying these atrocities are carrying those guns at the minute, you are wasting your time because the people that are backing them up are the 2 people that are up high there. They are religious leaders, the oligarchs in the north, the politicians, most of them in the military that are backing them up. They will not come out, but they are supporting it. They want to turn Nigeria to a Turkey. They want to turn Nigeria to a Lebanon. They want to turn Nigeria to a Jordan. They want to turn Nigeria to an Egypt. And we keep shouting this thing every day. Wow, over 200 people executed like that, and we are going about our businesses as proper people with no consequence whatsoever. You think you know better than me, isn't it? I keep talking of Islamization agenda, but you think I'm foolish. Not knowing that you are the one that is foolish. For the Yoruba people, I warn you again, be careful. See, I've told you before, in that video I told you, I said the Igbo land will be the most difficult. But what they're going to use in the Igbo land is money, because they understand, see, the devil will always tempt you with what you like most. They know the Igbo people like money. And you'll find that their allergies will begin to woo their people, they'll begin to marry their daughters with money, they'll begin to settle their sons with money, and because of that, Islam will enter. But it will take a long time. So what they do is, they start conquering from the north, and then when they spread to the west, because it will be easy to spread into the west than to the southeast. And then from the west now, they'll conquer. Now you see, their activity in Kwara is very, very, is very evident now. Their activity in Kwara is evident. Their activities in Kwara is effective. Guess where they are going next? No. You think it's Igbo land or it's South? No, they are entering your state. And they're already in the forest of Oyo. Presently, as I'm telling you, information reaching me, they're already in the forest of Oyo. They'll spread to Ogun. And from there, you think you're in Lagos State and you cannot be touched. No. You think you're in Lagos State, you cannot be touched. I tell you, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You see the speed as they are moving. It is just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time. I want to tell you, look for how to defend yourself. These people are relentless. These jihadists are relentless. I call on President Tinubu, better do. You see, the re-election thing is just on your mind. The politicians they don't have your time. They don't care about you. Let 500 be killed today. They don't care. They'll go about their campaign. To them, it's about party. To them, it's about party. And we have idiots, useless men in this government that would rather come and instead of sympathize with the people or profess solution or aggressively attack these people. They would rather come out and banter Peter Obi or banter one party or the other. I'm telling you, if you don't stand and defend yourself and genuinely and vehemently resist Sharia in the West, your situation will be what is happening in the North. You think you know better, isn't it? When we keep shouting, you are playing tribal cards. You think it's because we're against Tinubu, we keep talking. And every time we bring up facts, you turn into tribal cards. You think it's about tribalism. You think it's about, because we're speaking against Tinubu, you are very foolish. You will still come under this street and attack me, but no problem. I want to call on the Nigerian military. As much as I know many of you are compromised, I want to call on the Nigerian government. Do not allow the Fulanis, a minority tribe that is causing mayhem, a minority tribe, an infinitesimal amount of people that can be silenced once. We can't allow them to gain dominance, to gain ground. I told you of Islamization agenda, you think I'm playing. No problem. If Sharia is not abolished intentionally in Nigeria, I am telling you, 20 years from today, we are not ending this problem. If Sharia is not abolished in Nigeria, 20 years from today, this challenge is not ending. We have become a people that is totally a people of no relevance. We have become a mockery to the international communities. Look, I'm talking now. They took the light. For 60-something years, power supplies cannot be constant in Nigeria, causing chaos, causing anarchy in Nigeria. The Islamists, these Fulanis. I've talked about that you should hold Sultan accountable for a lot of this. You did not hear me. I've spoken that you should hold Gumi accountable for most of this. You did not hear me. No problem. We're here. I want to I'll keep telling you that the church must rise up to begin to defend itself. Because you see, if they can do that to a community that are even with Muslims, simply because they rejected Sharia, how do you think it will be for Christian communities? If we don't rise up and begin to initiate the Crusader program gradually at this time, to begin to raise people, security networks for the church that will defend Christians in the Christian communities. If you think this is ending anytime soon, you are wasting your time. Oh, this what we are going to Nigeria is not ending anytime soon. It's not ending anytime soon until you meet their nonsense, their stupidity with a higher level of violence. Until you meet their violence with a higher level of violence before they run away. They will never stop as much as we keep negotiating. We still have about over 100 people that were kidnapped from the church. They are still there. Entering to the church with such audacity and kidnap people that are still there. If you think this is ending anytime soon, you're wasting your time. If we don't rise and begin to meet their nonsense, their foolishness with a higher level of violence, 20 years from today, 30 years from today, we are not ending this. And I've told you, Nigeria will never be Islamized. We will rather divide. After all, I've said it over and over. This marriage, this entity called Nigeria is a scam. We have been deceiving ourselves for too long. Nobody wants to say, even though many of us know it, nobody wants to say it is a scam. If we don't rise up, these guys are not relenting. They will continue to labor to ensure that they bring Nigeria to a Turkey or to a Lebanon state, and we will not permit that. We will rather divide. The church must rise up at this time. All those nonsensical compromises are trying to be diplomatic. These people are not diplomatic with you. You are the one that want to be diplomatic. Oh yeah, now. No problem. We will keep speaking. What we will not do again is to be silent.